Yeah.
Thanks. There we go. I need to remember to be logged in when we do this. But hello, everybody. We're here yet again. The gang is back after a hiatus because Robin wasn't with us the last two times. Last one time. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's see what everyone's been up to. Mum, what have you been around about and doing this week?
What have I been up to this week? Lots of research bits and pieces, quite a bit of writing, onboarding a couple of new clients. So yeah, it's been all and up to my ears in terms and conditions and privacy policies.
Oh, exciting.
No.
What do you mean no? Are you telling me you don't like to read really dry, boring, but important, but really dry and boring
documents?
Yeah.
No, it was a bit of a trial yesterday.
Yeah,
I have to say. It was a full day of it. So
how many cups of tea and coffee did you go through?
Really bad. So I was dehydrated too, which didn't help because I didn't move from my desk. Yeah.
Dare I ask how much cheese you ate?
Yes, an entire packet of President Brie.
Just thought you should share that with everybody. So
yeah, and I'm paying for it today. My milk intake, I thought I was just testing to see if my allergy was still there. Yeah, it is. I can confirm that. Don't do it.
It's good to test every now and again, right?
No.
Robin, how have you been? How was your holiday? Hollabobs?
Very nice. Went around Chester Walls. Not that they're new to me, but went to the river, enjoyed the sunny weather. Had a very lovely
sunny weather.
Last week there was sunny weather. That was my holiday.
Not here, there wasn't.
Yeah, had a lovely time. I mean, it's horrible now. Like,
yeah.
Oh, so you had the right week off then. Brilliant.
Did indeed.
That's good. And I've been mostly doing. Oh, you got your second jab.
I got my second jab. Yeah.
We're all fully stabbed now. We are the stab crew.
We are. We're off onto trains tomorrow. How exciting is that?
I'm a bit nervous. I'm going to be honest. I'm entirely nervous about the whole prospect.
Yeah, I'm glad I did a dry run on Tuesday. I went into Henley and worked in an office there for the day.
Yeah.
And going backwards and forwards on the train, I was super nervous before I went.
Yeah.
But the carriages were empty. It was.
Yeah. Well, Robin and I have done the trip like over to Warrington quite a lot, and that's not been empty at all. That's been like totally.
Now you're making me nervous.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks.
It makes me nervous as well, but we're going to wear the masks the whole time, and just the idea of that is no bueno. But hopefully everything will be okay.
I think the thing for me that it always is that I hate changing on trains. And that's what I'm going to have to do this time. Like, I think I've got 2 changes. So from Chester to somewhere to Leamington Spa. And I'm like, I don't really want to do all those changes on the best of days.
Yeah.
But my other option was ending up there at 8 a.m. and one change. And I kind of, Can you imagine me sitting there like just, I should have just done it and then sat in a coffee shop for 2 hours and been like,
I'm waiting. No. It's a bit early. I've got to change at Coventry on the way there and Birmingham on the way back. The last times I've done it, I feel like the last time I did it, or the last time I went to Maidenhead, I ended up in Birmingham and New Street, I think it was, and the station was like dead quiet. There was like no one. There was just people there that were like catching the last trains of the day, and that was a weird experience. I don't know when that was. It must have been in the winter sometime because it was dark and must have been like 9-10 o'clock at night or something. That was a really weird trip back. But yeah, hopefully it won't be quite as
that was the time you caught the 7 o'clock train, wasn't it?
From where? I don't remember where it was from because it must have been down you guys or with you or something. But no.
Wasn't it Reading?
Reading. Yeah, it was. We went to Reading.
Yeah, because we had dinner in Reading, didn't we?
Yeah.
We went to that that was so good. That
Lebanese place.
That
Is it still
was
there?
so good. I don't know, but that was so good.
Oh, they've got one in Spinning Fields in Manchester as well. I looked it up when I got home, I remember. So hopefully it's still there, because that would be really nice to go. We were planning to go there, weren't we?
We were, yeah. We're planning on taking Robin next time she was down, weren't we?
Yeah. And Robin's discovered that she likes Turkish food now, so
yeah, so it's
she'll
not
be there
far of a, absolutely.
You can thank my house guest for that. He was like absolutely tried Turkish, it's the best thing ever, and I was like, all right, I'm going to try something new, I'm going to be good.
Look at that bravery.
I know. I mean, when I told Gemma, I was sure she was going to fall off the train seat in shock of kind of, what, wait, who are you? What did you do with my sister? But yeah, my changes are Crewe and then Birmingham New Street.
Okay.
So Chester to Crewe, Crewe to Birmingham.
Oh, that's
Birmingham
annoying.
Oh, that Crewe train from Chester is the one that is full of people going to work. Well, it used to be.
Yeah.
Because when I come up that way, if I end up coming through at about 5 or 6 o'clock, it's absolutely heaving, because all of the tradespeople and office workers are all on those trains.
Yeah.
But hopefully, because we're in the summer holidays, it will also be all right.
Yeah, and hopefully a lot of them are still working from home. So yeah, fingers and toes and eyeballs crossed. Yeah, so today we are going to discuss news of the week, news of the month actually, because we're in August. I think we did one of these last month, or maybe it was June. But I'm going to try and fit one in every month, because I think it is an interesting discussion, interesting discussions to have anyway. So would you like to start us off with your news on Yoast, I guess?
Well, that was a bit exciting, wasn't it? So Yoast has been sold.
Exciting.
And Yoast has been around pretty much as long as I have been in the web business. So I met him a few times, been to loads of conferences with him. Great guy, great company. And they've been sold to Newfold Digital, which is a massive company. So when I first started doing web design and development, HostGator were the company to be registered with and to have your hosting, and they are part of the Newfold brands. So yeah, I think Newfold own people like domain.com and Bluehost. So that's massive news for Host. I don't know if he's exiting or what the thinking is behind that, but big congratulations to him.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting a round of applause.
So yeah, that's fantastic news. Not such great news is SEO Press, which is a lovely plugin, the same as Yoast, actually does a few more technical things than Host does on their free version. They had a bit of a security issue, which was found, I believe, by WordFence, and they patched it. It's fixed, it's done. But it is just a reminder to everybody, if you're managing your own website and you've got plugins and you've got themes sitting there, please update, so that you're not so susceptible to these vulnerabilities. Companies are super good at patching now, so it's really important to make sure you update your website, plugins, themes, and WordPress.
Yeah. As a post we did yesterday as well, that if you want for more information on what you can do to sort of maintain your website a little bit more on social media, there was a post, things that you can do. One of those things was making sure that your plugins, anything that you're using in terms of your themes, are always updated, because it's one of the things we see most of the time, where you go into someone's back end and there's just that little red blob that says 85 and you're like, no, that's bad.
Yeah, they're running a WordPress version that's about 5 years old, and you think, oh no, everything's going to break. Because if you do incremental updates, the likelihood of anything breaking on your website is fairly small these days. You know, there are upgrade paths. I mean, it used to be back in the day that you really were taking your life into your hands by doing a website upgrade. But now it's really smooth if you keep up to date with them, and then afterwards just check your site, make sure that everything looks okay. The only time where I would be nervous about doing a website update was if you've got some really old WordPress versions and your theme is really out of date, those are the two things that can really muck it up, because maybe your theme actually doesn't work with the new version of WordPress. So, you know, the longevity.
If you were a layperson and you were looking at your themes, let's say you're managing your own website, what kind of age is a problem? How many updates behind is it okay?
I don't think it's a matter of updates behind. I think if you haven't done any updates for 2 to 3 years, then you need to worry, and you need to think, okay, maybe I need a little bit of hand holding through that process, get somebody to have a quick look at it for me, make sure that everything's okay, and do it in a staged approach, bit by bit. So there's some plugins that you can, you need a staged approach to doing that, but but anything newer than that should be okay. Should be. If you're at all worried about it, just ask.
And if you're on our hosting, it's something that we do and manage for you anyway,
on a daily basis. So that's nothing to worry about.
It's not a problem, but it is one of those things to check out for. And if you don't have a designer or a developer that isn't quite as communicative with you, it's something that you might not know about that's just happening in the background, and maybe they've fallen off the wagon or whatever. It's always good to check if you have access to the back end. Just have a look and see what you can find, and don't break things. It's easier said than done. We break things all the time.
Always back up first, so make sure that there's a backup so that you can revert to it if something does go wrong.
Actually, maybe we should do a blog post on that, on how to back up and do that, because I don't think we have one at the moment, but
no, we could do. That's
worth it.
Little video maybe showing how it's done.
I'm gonna write that down. Look. Well, so the other thing that I saw early today was Google and TikTok have decided to put some bits and bobs in place to protect teenagers, or security measures for teenagers in sort of advertising, or protect them from advertising. So TikTok has placed a time gate on when they're going to allow adverts, I believe, or allow, let me just check the wording here so I don't get this wrong. It says, limit the time period during which younger teens can receive push notifications, cutting it off at 9 p.m. for users 13 to 15 and 10 p.m. for 16 to 17. So push notifications are the ones that you get on your phone, come pop up in your bar, right? In your tasky bar thing. Am I right?
Yeah, that's completely correct. I think that's interesting. Is that gonna do much?
I don't know, because I never get pulled in by the push notifications. I'm usually just on my phone in bed on TikTok. But then I'm not in the age range, so it's fine.
But I think that is a general thing about TikTok, is that people don't necessarily go on it like dead during the day. What they tend to do is they tend to finish their day. I mean, teenagers, it's going to be after school. They're going to be laying in bed, going to bed for the next school day, and they're going to be scrolling in bed on their phone. Like, I think that's a fairly standard. I think across any age range, that's a fairly normal. Like, more adults do the kind of the news scrolling, maybe. But
have they said why they're doing it? Is it to let kids have more sleep, or is it so that they can change adverts to different, after what we in the UK would have called the Watershed back in the day?
Yeah, it says it's come out as it says the tech giants are under increased regulatory scrutiny and follow similar moves by competitor Facebook. So Facebook's obviously at some point done something similar.
Because I have do not disturb on, so I stop my push notifications anyway after a certain time of day.
Yeah, I should do the same actually. I don't know why I don't.
I just don't have TikTok notifications on at all.
I don't have TikTok installed.
Well, that's where you go wrong, Mum. To be honest,
I think you would enjoy some of the stuff if you get into the right.
No, algorithm. I definitely would. I would. Yeah.
I do.
Go on.
Good.
No, I was just saying, one of my friends, Nigel Morgan, he's an accountability buddy for something, and he was saying he's just installed TikTok and he's absolutely loving it. And he's the same age as me, right? He's 50.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on.
Listen, TikTok's for everyone. Don't let age stop you. TikTok's wonderful. There's such a wide age range on TikTok, even though a lot of the time you see the marketing is towards younger people, like dabbing.
Yeah.
It's not dabbing. That's not the cool thing anymore. Sorry.
Is it not?
No.
Do you know what? I watch TikTok vicariously because I watch streamers on Twitch showing
TikToks. Yeah. So it's like react to
it
TikToks.
Is. And it's nicely curated for me.
Yeah, that's true. They're probably ones that you'd like to see anyway.
Yeah, though that being said, I think there's lots of craft stuff that you would really enjoy to see that you're not going to see on those react, because a lot of the kind of there's a huge amount of small business stuff where they're doing really beautiful pieces and just kind of making their business on TikTok, basically, because people just go crazy for that stuff.
Yeah. And we have started to do some TikTok stuff for clients as well. So I'm going to have to delve in and have a look and not just leave it to the young'uns in the team to know all about it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I don't think we count as a demographic, as you said, Gemma. We're past that target. I think
you are, but if you think about it, the age groups that we're talking about there are not actually the ones with the disposable income.
No, they're not. I mean, neither are we. Hashtag millennial problems.
You whipped out the M word.
Listen, it's got to be done, okay? If you're using TikTok, you hear them a lot. So yeah. No, the other one was Google has also done some teen security stuff, and what they have done instead,
remind me to talk about Google in a minute.
They're blocking ad targeting based on age and gender of the interest of people under 18. So it's meant to safeguard them from age sensitive categories.
Okay.
So here's a question. How are they working out age ranges specifically? Are they going to accidentally be blocking people that are still interested in stuff past the age range?
Well, that's a very interesting topic, isn't it? Because we had that problem recently with Gemma being banned from Facebook. And we don't know why, but it turns out that a whole swathe of people had their accounts suspended because the Facebook algorithm thought they were under 13 years of age because of what they were doing on Facebook. And, if you look at what I like to listen to, if you look at what I like to read, if you look at what I enjoy watching on TV, you could get the idea that I am a young adult. It's not, I find that really difficult. So, of course, Google, if you've got a Gmail account and you've put in your correct age, they kind of know how old you are.
Same with TikTok.
Yeah, and I'm assuming, but you don't have to put in your correct age, do you? You don't have to verify anything. And I'm pretty sure that teenagers probably, and this is a massive generalization, apologies to teenagers everywhere, but if you're anything like me, you were trying to do stuff a lot earlier than you should have done.
Yeah.
So the only way I could think that they must be doing it is by algorithm, in the same way that Facebook's been doing recently, which does not work. It does have issues, and it's always going to.
I can imagine, because they're gating it at 17, but I can imagine there's people who have been on Google from a much earlier age that hit 20 that are still into the same stuff, still watching,
and they've got that massive backlog of knowing who they are. But it's not a bad thing in terms of, it would be great if kids weren't exposed to all sorts of things about weight loss and that kind of stuff, where they get negative body image kind of stuff. And I know you can't advertise on Facebook for that kind of thing blatantly.
Yeah.
That's not to say that you don't see ads around that, just worded in different ways to get past the algorithm. But it would be lovely to somehow protect younger people from some of those areas and topics of conversation that they don't need negative reinforcement of.
Yeah, it is true, because there's so much out there, and there's so much that, you know, it doesn't feel right to say, but like back in the day, that wasn't there. Like all of this stuff wasn't so easily accessible to someone who is of a more vulnerable age. So having that now with limited protections, and it must be pretty scary for parents who have kids who are sort of that age. They don't know what's happening all the time, because kids are on tablets, they're on phones, they're on laptops, they're on whatever. So
and that's been exacerbated, hasn't it,
yeah,
by the lockdown, because
yeah,
whereas a lot of parents were like, no,
you
can't use a tablet between this hour and this hour, no, you can't have a mobile phone. Well, the only way for them to communicate with each other over the last 18 months has been to have access to laptops and tablets and phones. So I can't imagine what parents are going through at the moment with trying to walk back some of that stuff, because once the horse is bolted, you've got a problem, haven't you?
Yeah.
So anything that they try to do, I think they're going to do in a very ham-fisted way to start with.
Well, that's usually the way. That does tend to be the internet way. We're getting rid of this, the whole internet breaks.
Yeah.
It's broken now. And then marketers go, how do I survive?
Yeah. And Google have done that this week.
What have they done?
Oh, no, bless Google. Their cotton socks. I mean, they are sweet. So there have been some algorithm updates over the last few days, and they have also changed the game a little bit. It would appear currently, so always know that title tags, when you're dealing with your SEO, have always been historically been the most important term for SEO, to really let Google know what your page and your site is about.
Yeah.
It looks like they are currently putting your H1 tag into the search results rather than your title tag. So there's a bit of a shift, and it could be something that they're currently testing, but it looks like they've now put a lot more emphasis onto your H1. And that could be because maybe they want title tags and H1s to be the same.
Yeah.
Possibly, which actually they're not at the moment, because you SEO your title tag, whereas your page title, your H1 should be relevant to what's on the page, but you can use a lot more flair in it. So SEOs have seen that this week, where there have been quite a few changes in the search engines of what's being displayed, and it's leaning towards the H1 at the moment. So that's an interesting one.
So is that sort of a wait and see whether they're
It's definitely a wait and see to see. Google do so many tests on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, and it's just, they do it to make sure that they're getting the best results into the search.
Yeah,
that's a kind way of looking at it.
Well, essentially they're always trying to make sure that people who are searching via Google are getting the results that they need.
Yeah, and to get them there as fast as they can.
Yeah.
And we won't get into the debate about are they just promoting their stuff higher up anyway. We won't get into that conversation.
There's an interesting connect with that though. Another Google product, YouTube, has also made some changes recently. Talked about their new rollout of basically they're now doing chapters within videos. For search purposes. So now you basically, the videos are cut up so that it's easier to find what you want. And apparently that's now going to be part of their search tools in YouTube. So that when you're searching something specifically, it will actually tell you that it's in the video at which section.
I have to tell you though, from a user perspective, it's been absolutely fantastic, because I use the chapters to go, I'm not interested in that, and I go through. But you got to name your chapters properly, haven't you?
Yeah.
because otherwise you're going to get people missing all sorts of content that you don't want them to miss.
Yeah.
I think from a user experience perspective is a great idea.
So when it comes up in the search results, is it taking you directly to that moment in the video?
I haven't seen any of the search results yet.
Oh, okay.
I'll read you out the official announcement as explained by YouTube. Up until now, when you browsed for a video to watch on YouTube, you'd see a thumbnail of the image of each video. It gave you a chance to gather a quick snapshot of the video's content. Now you'll be able to make an even more informed decision about what you're going to watch through video chapters directly in the search page. When available, these time-stamped images detail the different topics covered in the video and then let you better evaluate the video you're about to watch. You can also jump directly to the section most relevant to your specific interest. And I've had this a few times where I've been Google searching how to do something, usually something creative of like teaching me how to do a specific thing. And I don't want to watch like an hour-long video talking about the entire process of making a painting. I just want to look at the how to mix this particular product. And I put it in the Google search bar, and it comes up that this section of this part of the video is what I want to be watching.
I think I've seen it on Google, actually. I think I have seen that on Google. I've not noticed it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But no, that does sound quite interesting, because then you miss out a lot of them. I wonder how that's going to affect content creators on YouTube and how they're going to reorganize, because a lot of the time their promotional stuff will be at the start. They might promote at the end and then have sponsors sort of halfway in between, and then the content. So if it's taking you directly to the content, you're always going to be missing out on the sponsors at the start. And
that's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. Because then how does that, and how do you word that in the titles to then not have people skip through it easily? I mean, I skip through half the time anyway, but
I use the arrow keys. If there's a part that I'm really not interested in, I'll just arrow through 10 seconds at a time.
Do you know what I absolutely dislike? I want the same as I have in Audible or I have on Netflix. I want to be able to go forwards 30 seconds or 10 seconds.
Yeah,
that's what I just said.
But you use the arrows, don't you? Keys. I don't like that. I want it to appear in a thing. So it doesn't on mine.
No.
I literally used it on there the other day.
Did you? Maybe they're testing it, because they test it on different people, don't they?
I've not noticed it.
I haven't got it.
Let me sneak across to my YouTube. But yeah, they also say on this article that it's about what's it called? They think it's for SEO considerations.
Yes, definitely, because if you can manipulate what those titles are and make sure that you're ranking for the right things, it's got to be a great advantage.
In
other news, whilst Robin's looking for that, Google have broken the web
again.
Yes, that extraordinarily thing. They have a plugin called Sitekit, which allows you to use Google products within your dashboard super easily, especially on WordPress. But it's breaking websites currently. It's not the first time. It's very buggy. It's always been very buggy, and now it's just breaking everything. So watch this space. They will patch it. It will be fixed. Do not panic. If your website's broken and you've got that installed, maybe just switch it off for short.
I feel like this is like, it's like games, like when we used to play old games and they would stop working and you'd have to go and work out what was wrong with each of the add-ons and which add-on was causing the problem to then get to the bottom of the issue. And I know this is an issue in like,
well, it is with WordPress. If something goes wrong, the first thing that you do is switch off all the add-ons and then see if the website's working again.
And
then put them on back one by one. Yeah, absolutely.
Which I don't have to do that for my job, but it must be very painstaking for those people that do.
It's not as bad as it used to be. I used to spend a lot of time doing that. It's very rare that is actually the issue now. But it is like an IT consultant saying to you, "Oh, reboot." because actually that did used to fix things. So did switching add-ons off, but actually 9 times out of 10 it is now not an add-on's fault. It just so happens that at the moment SiteKit seems to be having an issue and breaking websites.
I feel like the reboot thing is still a thing, but we don't reboot to do it anymore. We go into Task Manager and make sure there's nothing running in the background, because that's what it was, right? When
something would get stuck
running,
or you'd had a memory leak or something like that and you needed to reset.
How
did you do, Robin?
I think it was on mobile.
Oh, was it on mobile?
Okay.
Yeah, that I saw it.
I can't use YouTube on mobile.
Yeah, I use it consistently on mobile. So
no, Spotify.
Oh, I hope they do that though.
Yeah, I have interesting gaming news. It's kind of not. It's kind of straddling that line. I'm very interested in some things going on right now in terms of content.
Right.
Cool.
So, you know, Among Us.
Yes.
Viral, very popular. Well, Fortnite stole it.
What?
And I was very surprised because Fortnite generally seem to pay for their licenses to stuff.
Yeah.
Like they bought the Disney shit, they bought the DC stuff, you know, they bought all of the rights to kind of have those characters in game. And they've apparently made a new limited time imposter mode.
Oh,
okay.
Which
they've appropriated stuff, have they?
Yeah, and the Among Us devs, again, this is just an article from Games Radar, has said that they are very frustrated because they did not agree to this and feel it is a blatant copy of their content. And I think that's interesting because how, like, obviously you can kind of go, yeah, that's an obvious graph. As soon as I saw an advertisement for it on Epic Games, I was like, they must have paid a lot of money
to do that,
and then apparently no, they've just ripped it because
and copyright is a big issue. I mean, we had a client this week who'd had one of those emails that said, please click this link, the photos on your website are being misused out of copyright and you owe us loads of money, basically. And we've seen thousands of them, and a lot of them are exactly the same. And in many cases, one, it's either a scam to get money out of you, or you're following a link that's going to do all sorts of damage, keylog you, and God knows what. And it was a scam, this one. But that is it's so common, isn't it?
Yeah.
That people misuse photos, and then you worry people as well. So I think copyright is a big conversation going on in the games world at the moment. In business.
It's tricky as well, because I think about when we play WoW, for example, we play other MMOs, and how many
WoW, do we?
Yeah, not anymore. We don't play WoW. I've not logged on. Don't start any rumors.
Okay.
But when we did, WoW would often take a lot of content and gameplay ideas from other MMOs, and it was never considered something like
that's like Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy say that they're massive fans of WoW, and they took a lot of inspiration from the stuff from WoW, and it's there's a very fine line between the
stealing
two.
and imitation.
Absolutely, because I mean, there's so many Easter eggs in WoW, aren't there, to other pop culture stuff. I mean, you're randomly doing something in a fantasy world, and then bang, Star Wars hits you in the face. And you're like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's more of an homage, and
I think in Fortnite's, not their defense, but the opposite of their defense, in their prosecution, part of their charm is the fact that they catch their younger audience by viral marketing. So they catch them by throwing in Marvel, Avengers, Endgame stuff. They catch them through adding Among Us, which was a huge game, especially for younger people, into their game. So it's sort of a common thread.
Yeah.
But if they haven't done it with permission, that's a little bit
it seems a stretch.
And I think the thing that's going to really damage Fortnite here is that Among Us is the underdog. Yes, it went viral and massive, but it is still an
Yes,
indie game,
because
and it is indie developers. It is
Fortnite is no longer the underdog.
no, exactly. It used to be, but now people are very, very upset with this because obviously this is, I think, Fortnite, not Fortnite, Among Us, I think, had like originally a team of 5 developers or something.
Yeah.
Like it was super small and super like tiny. And so for them to kind of just go and enhance, they didn't patent for it or anything, they just enhanced Among Us mechanics and built upon them to make this new game mode. And it's like, well, people aren't going to appreciate that.
Always, that's a tricky one though, isn't it? I think game mechanics are really, really tricky to copyright, and I know lots of the dev teams do copyright and patent massively different types of mechanics and stuff. But are there that many original ideas in gaming?
There's not any original ideas left in the world.
I don't believe so. So that's a really, really hard one, isn't it?
Well, the people that made Among Us, actually, I've just found the tweet that they've said.
Yeah.
We didn't patent the Among Us mechanics. I don't think it leads to a healthy game industry.
No.
Is it that hard to put 10% more effort into putting your own spin on things though? So they basically just ripped exactly. They didn't even expand. They just ripped the exact thing and put it into Fortnite, which is a bit disappointing. I think like, you know,
Robin, face it, we're just going to be perennially disappointed with game companies right now.
Yeah.
There's not a day goes by that I don't scroll through my Google News and start sighing.
Yeah.
Well,
Jim and I have become non-gamers. We met on games and we now no longer play games. It's a depressing life to lead. Although I played Hades at the weekend, so who am I kidding? I'm playing games. He's not.
That's a good game.
Apparently, the 2 other games, well, 2 of their other games, Bastion and Transistor, are also very good games.
Oh, okay. I've never played any of their games. I'm playing Final Fantasy at the moment.
They're not my vibe.
If anyone's interested.
I'm interested.
I'm crafting and fishing my hut to my heart's content and healing in dungeons.
Check you out. You badass healer, you.
And I'm going to get Robin to Fantasia, my character, at the weekend, I think.
Oh, I see. You're just using me for my character creation prowess.
I might get you to start a new one.
Well, with that in mind, we are actually going to see each other for the first time since February
2020
tomorrow. So get excited for pictures.
We've got a team meeting, haven't we, in Leamington Spa tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to meet the park again, which is the last place we saw each other. So expect pictures,
and tears.
Oh no tears, please don't. Little ones, not big ones. Little ones.
I don't do cry women very well.
Do not start.
Oh, Mum!
You can't start. We've not even got on a train yet. So please.
Legitimately, I can't deal with crying women. Please stop.
Brilliant. And I will see you both tomorrow morning.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. And thank you for hopping in. Remember, if you do want any help with anything to do with your website, if you're having issues, if anything's slow, if you're having any concerns at all, we're always on the other end of the line. Hit us up on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn if you feel like it. I'm not into LinkedIn at the moment, but yes, LinkedIn as well. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.